One of the most important things about MLA format is the listing of works cited at the end of the paper. This is a list of books that you used to find information to support your thesis statement. Now, MLA format is very clear about how you should list information from a book. The author's name for a book with a single author appears last name, first name format. The basic form for a book citation is as follows. Last name, comma, first name, period. Title of book in italics, period. City of publication, colon, publisher, comma, year of publication, period, medium of publication. For example, if you had a book written by James Gleick called Chaos, Making a New Science, this is how you would cite it. Gleick, comma, James, period. Chaos, Making a New Science, in italics, period. New York, colon, Penguin, comma, 1987, period, print. All books should have print at the end of their citation. Let me show you where to find this information in a book. I'm going to use a book called World War II, which is written by Tom McGowan. The first thing that you want to do is find the author's name. So go ahead and take your note card, and with the book that you have, I want you to write on your note card the author's name, last name, comma, first name, period. So for me, it's McGowan, comma, Tom. All right, so here I've written the author's last name, comma, first name, McGowan, comma, Tom. Now I need to find the title of the book. The title of the book will be usually on the front. This one is titled World War II. So I will write World War II. And then I'll put a period there. Since I'm writing and I can't italicize very well, I'm going to underline. Anytime you have a book and you're going to write the title by hand, you should underline it. So far on your note card, you should have the author's last name, comma, first name, period, and then the title of the book, underlined, period. Now, what's next? City of publication. So in order to find the city of publication, you're usually going to have to look not on the first page, but on the second page. There's this title page that comes at the beginning of every book. It should have the author's name and the title, and then it will tell you the publisher right here, and always take the first city that's listed. Some books will have only one city listed. Other books will have multiples. For this one, since New York is first, we're going to use New York. So, after I've got title of book, I put down the city of publication. So here on my note card, I'm going to write New York. Now, notice very carefully what comes after city of publication. It's a colon, it's not a period. So I'm going to put a colon after New York, just like that. So far on your note card, you should have the author's last name, comma, first name, period, the title of the book, underlined, period, and now you should also have the city of publication. Go ahead and take your time and make sure that you found the city of publication. You can pause the video if you need to. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is look back up at our list here, publisher. You'll find the publisher on the title page right here. I'll hold it up so you can see it. The publisher of this book is Franklin Watts. So I'm going to write Franklin Watts. Now I look back up here at my template, and it says publisher, comma. So after Franklin Watts, I'm going to put a comma. Alright, so far on your card, you should have author's last name, comma, first name, period, title of book, underlined, period, city of publication, colon, publisher, comma, and next is year of publication. This is usually the most difficult one to find, and I'll show you where I can find it in my book, but it might be a little different in your book. You may have to pause the video and take some time looking around to find the year of publication. So what you're looking for is a page like this right here. It's got lots of different information on it about the Library of Congress number, who published it, who took all the pictures. But what you're looking for is a copyright date followed by a year. So here, this one says copyright 1993 by Tom McGowan. So anytime you find that copyright and the year that comes after it, this is the year of publication, okay? Most of them will come either at the bottom or the top of the page right behind the title page. It'll be this page that contains all the publication information. So I'm going to write 1993. And I put a period after it because I look back up here, year of publication, period. Now the last one, medium of publication, is easy. For everybody in class, because we all have books, the medium of publication is going to be print. The only other medium of publication that you need to worry about is web, and that's if you got something off the internet, but we're not going to include electronic sources in this paper. We're just going to use books. So for all of your print sources, you just put print at the end. So now you should have the full MLA citation. Author's last name, comma, first name, title of book, period, city of publication, colon, publisher's name, comma, year of publication, period, medium of publication, which for all of us is print, period. If your citation doesn't look like this, go ahead and raise your hand and get help, either from someone in class or from the teacher. They can show you how to get the information that you need to get. Okay, so I'm going to just leave this up here for just a moment, and I'm going to zoom in on it. So you can pause the video now if you need to, and take a look at how this has been done. Here's one example. Here's the second example. And then here's my example, okay? So you can go ahead and pause the video and use this to make any citations that you need. So make sure that you go ahead and write your citation down on one side of your note card for the book that you've got. Alright, now it's time for us to do some research. So this is the part where you actually have to read the book. I know many of you might be reluctant to sit down and read these books, but remember, we're looking for information on how the Nazi Party was voted into power in 1933. What promises did they make to the German people that convinced the German people to vote for them? I have already done a little reading in this book, so I just want to give you an example of how you can use your note card to do research for your paper. Now remember, I want you to include 3 examples, 3 things that the Nazi Party said to the German people that helped them get elected in 1933. One of the major reasons for this, and I'll just go ahead and give you this one, is that the Nazi Party promised to restore Germany's greatness after World War I. Germany was defeated in World War I, and for the Versailles Treaty was forced to pay back lots of money to other countries in Europe. Now, I happen to find out that by reading this book, I happen to find out that the Nazis pledged to restore Germany to the power and armed might it had once possessed. So I'm going to zoom in on this to show you this. So I'm going to write in my paper, I'm going to write that because the Germans pledged to restore Germany to the power and might it had once possessed after World War I, that they promised the German people to bring Germany back into power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this quote down on the back side of my note card. So So if I'm going to make the argument that the Nazis pledged to restore Germany's greatness, I might write a little note to myself that Nazis pledge to restore Germany's greatness. And then the quote that I'm going to use the quote that I'm going to use to support that from this book is right here. So I'm going to write quotation marks down here, and I'm going to say they pledged to restore Germany to the power and armed might it had once possessed. Now, the important thing about a quote is that you use the exact words from the book. So notice right here, I've used all the exact words that come out of this book. Pledge to restore Germany to the power and might it once possessed. I'm also going to make a note of what page number this quote came from, because you're going to need to use the page number in the paper that we're going to write to properly cite your source. So here I have a note card, and it's got a quote on it from a book that I found that shows that one of the promises that the Nazis made were to restore Germany to the power and might it had once possessed before World War I. And then on the back, I have all the citation information that I need. So before we start writing this paper, I want everyone in class to have at least 3 of these note cards with one reason per note card and a quote on each note card supporting their reason why Germans were voting for the Nazi Party in 1933. I'm going to write a whole paragraph about how they pledged to restore Germany, and I'm going to use this quote to support it, and then I'm going to be able to say that Tom McGowan in his book, World War II, wrote this about the Nazi Party. So for the rest of class, I want everyone to read some of these books, find reasons why Germans might have voted for the Nazis in 1933, and I want you to get quotes to support that from each of these books. Now, for every new book, you need a new note card, okay? Because on the back, you're going to have to write down all of this citation information. If you don't have this written on your note card, you can't write the paper, okay? This is very, very important for the paper. So make sure that you do this on every note card that you use and get quotes from at least 3 different books. Okay, I'll see you when I get back.